We see it time and time again. Some research comes out saying that 60 to 70% of some sort of data initiatives just don't meet expectations. It doesn't matter what kind of data initiatives we're talking about, and we're talking formal initiatives, not proofs of concept. And it's been this way for years. Chances are that there will be another statement like this soon. I even saw someone mention an 80% failure rate recently. There's something systematically wrong in how we've approached data, but no one seems to do things differently. What makes it worse, evidently 60 to 70% of the businesses consider data and analytics to be strategic. So it's important but not worth the effort to do it better? So today, I present 3 of my many basic mythbusters about doing data right. You cannot train your way into becoming data-driven. Data analytics technology are 3 distinct roles, and there is no shortage of data scientists. Let's look at the first of these. You cannot train your way into becoming data-driven. Well, not on its own anyway. By the way, I really don't like the term data-driven, but that's for another discussion. To be data-driven, you have to have the ability to use the information and the willingness to use the information. But when it comes to data, somehow people forget these are 2 different things. Specifically with data, we tend to assume that willingness naturally follows ability. So we train the heck out of everybody in hopes that the ability will somehow make them want it. There are many things we're capable of doing but have no desire to do. I'm capable of eating liver, but I really don't want to. And vice versa. You don't need to be a performing musician to want music. You don't need to know how to program in Python or how to build predictive models to want to make informed decisions. Willingness to use information basically has 2 aspects, appetite and trust. So those have to be addressed. This is not like the field of dreams. They don't come just because you build it. But we've done it that way for years, and there are a lot of data products just sitting on the shelves rotting away. Now, having said that, developing a data-driven organization is not a typical competency of the analytics professionals. So don't expect your analytics people to do this for you. Most of them have no idea how to do this. Many of them have a hard enough time even just communicating with normal people. Now on to data analytics and technology are 3 distinct roles. We all like cookies, and I think we generally understand how they're made. The ingredients are integrated and transformed according to the recipe, using the tools and the appliances to produce what we consumers like to eat. And even as consumers, we understand that expertise in ovens doesn't mean expertise in flour. It's the same with information. Data are the ingredients, analytics the recipe, and technology the tools and the environment and so forth to produce insights so that you can make informed decisions. Each role brings different values to the table from the perspective of the consumer, that is, the business. The challenge here is that they all have skills in common, so role definitions have to be value-centric if the objective is to meet value expectations. We have to think in terms of the information value chain rather than the information supply chain. Now on to, there is no shortage of data scientists. The perception of the shortage has a lot to do with the hiring side not fully understanding what they should be hiring, much less how to articulate it. I've seen a lot of job postings that just don't make any sense. One point I really want to emphasize is the idea of design versus development. In technology, there now is a generally well understood distinction between an architect and a developer. The architects deal with design and translate requirements, and in a way, they are the bridge between the business and the developers. There's a similar distinction in data also. But this distinction is rarely recognized in analytics. Now, thanks to all the hype, in the last several years, so many people have jumped on the data science bandwagon. As a result, now there are a lot of people who know how to apply analytical techniques, but their competencies do not include figuring out the when or the why from the business perspective. We have a lot of analytical developers, but hardly anyone competent in analytical design, which is a thing. There's actually an implicit oversupply of analytical developers, but hardly anyone who can connect the business with the analytical development. As you might imagine, this is a huge gap. The general hiring process for analytics is still very immature, and the entire analytics domain, honestly, has historically been pretty poor at making the best use of its resources anyway. A lot of this supposed shortage has to do with data scientists doing non-value add development, basically working on things that are off target. So there is no shortage of data scientists per se. There is a shortage of people with competencies in analytical design. And poor design is a big part of the failure to meet expectations. So, you cannot train your way into becoming data-driven. Data, analytics, and technology are three distinct roles, and there is no shortage of data scientists per se. Analytical developers are a dime a dozen, but we have a shortage of people who can connect the business to analytical development.